Christina here from Life with Diets, and today is day God knows what of lockdown. I have no idea anymore. I think it's been over 4 weeks now, and I'm going to make a typical Spanish dish called arroz caldosa, which is, roughly translated, is brothy rice. This is one of those wonderful dishes that is made with the 4 basics: onions, tomatoes, pepper, red, green, yellow, whichever one you can get your hands on, and garlic. Just going to close the window. The neighbours across the valley have started drilling. So I've prepped everything already, so you don't have to watch me badly cut vegetables. So we've got 1 whole onion. I've only done half a pepper because it was a really, really big one. And I've done 2 tomatoes. You want as much tomatoes as possible because this is quite a tomatoey dish. Now what we're going to do first is saute, love that word, sofreír in Spanish. Vamos a hacer un sofrito. So, you want to get your oil up to temperature, so you just need some oil. You can do this without oil if you are of the whole food plant-based that doesn't like oil, which normally is me. But I'm not getting a lot of other fats in my diets at the moment, so I have gone back to using a little bit of oil. Because you know what? Why not? I had to give up everything else. Now, typically in Spain, this dish is done with meat, well, mainly seafood, prawns and shellfish. My family, only my daughter really likes prawns. And the shellfish, I couldn't get hold of any today because we did our weekly shop. There was a massive queue at the fish shop, so we didn't get any. So I'm going to make this the vegan version, but you can do it with shellfish. And what we normally do, if you're going to add your shellfish, so you go through all this process that I'm going to show you, and then you just put the shellfish in at the very last minute, because they literally only take a couple of minutes to cook, or you do them on the side and add them later. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the onions. Oops, throw them everywhere. Bring that down already. Add the onions and the peppers. The garlic, and you want to, like you say, get the oil up to temperature, and then you want to bring it down and fry it really slowly. Now, there's 2 ways of doing this if you're doing it for a family with kids. You say, oh God, my kids aren't going to eat peppers. Now, what I used to do is do this and then run it through a blender. So then you've got that lovely liquid. Or you just fry them for as long as necessary until they are lovely and soft. So today I'm going to do the second option. I don't want to blend them because I'm now trying to get my kids to eat the vegetables that they see, but I need those peppers to be really nice and soft, otherwise they're not going to eat them. Now, I'd say add garlic to taste because there's different levels of flavour. You should put at least 2 garlic cloves in here. I'm going to put in 4. They're quite small. Okay, I'm going to add my tomatoes. Normally we can get really nice big salad tomatoes here in Spain, which are great. So you only need 1. I've only got small little ones. So that's why I did 2. You could probably even get away with a 3rd because you want it to be tomatoey. Now obviously I've learned this dish from my friends. I've been following their recipes and asking how they cook, because I was brought up on this kind of food, having gone to a Spanish school and eaten the school dinner hall. But so have my kids. We all absolutely love it. But you've got to learn to cook it. So that's that. Now you put it on a low heat and you just simmer it away, moving it around slightly as needed. Just make sure until it gets that nice consistency that we want. Then what you need to have available is some stock. I am going to use vegetable stock. Obviously you can use whichever stock you like. And then you need rice. I'll be using whole grain round rice, so short grain, but it's whole grain. And also ecological this time. And that's all you need. Because I'm not going to be adding any meat to this dish, I'm also going to grate some carrot and add some peas at the end. But you can add whatever vegetables you like. The main thing is that you've got plenty of stock but water, because once we start doing the rice, You cook it kind of similar to a paella. If you've ever done one of those, you need to keep adding stock, but at the end we want to have quite a lot of stock because it is a brothy rice, so it's going to be quite a lot of liquid and it's easy to eat it. So it's like a soupy kind of texture, well, stewy kind of texture. So once we have fried all this, meantime I shall get on with preparing the carrot. Okay, so I have been frying this away for probably about 15-20 minutes. I said I was going to, it's nice and mushy. Don't know if you can see that. I mean, you could keep it going for hours. I said I was going to go and get a carrot, but I've run out of carrot and we didn't bring any from the supermarket. Now, a little trick that I've learned when I've been making curries is to add the herbs at this stage. Makes it a lot more tasty. I'm just adding a little bit of provincial herbs, which is it's a mix of parsley and basil and oregano and stuff. So instead of adding a carrot, I am going to add some grated courgette. Like I said, you can add whichever vegetable you want, or you don't have to add any at all. It's fine. So I'm just going to add that in there for a little bit. The good thing about courgette is it also almost disintegrates. Now a little bit of leftovers from the last one. Okay, so you do want to measure out your rice so you know how much you're doing. I want to do at least a cup. If you're using whole grain, which is what I recommend because it's a slow release carbohydrate, then it takes longer to cook. I'm going to add 2 cups of rice to this. This one just does not seem enough with the amount of vegetables that I've had. Let me just add it. But I add it slowly because I do tend to do things by ear, because I don't tend to follow recipes to the T, like you say. Yeah, put the whole 2 cups in, and then lots of liquid. Now I don't measure out my liquid because you've got to keep adding. You really don't want to fall short on liquid with this one. Now I've only put 1/4 of a courgette in because we get really big fat courgettes here, but if it's quite a small one, then just play it by ear, put in whatever you like. And you need to get hold of some pimienta dulce, which is sweet red pepper, is that what it is? I'll have to find the translation. Sorry, I've lived in Spain for 30 years of my life, and some of these words I just do not know what they are in English. So I've added that in, and now I'm going to bring it back up to boil, and I'm just going to constantly keep adding stock, and then once I've run out of that litre of stock, I'll just keep adding water because obviously it's already got the nice flavours, and I'm going to cook it slowly until the rice is done. With it being whole grain rice, it will probably take about half an hour. Yeah, so this isn't a hands-off dish, but it's not a difficult one. So all you've got to do is saute at the beginning, add the rice and the liquid, and then you just stick the lid on and wait till it comes up to the boil, and I'm just going to keep adding liquid. So if you wanted to make this with prawns, which is one of the most popular ways, you can also add a bit of chorizo or anything into it, give it a bit more flavour. But if you wanted to make it with prawns, the way they do it here in Spain is you clean and peel your prawns while they're raw, and then all the skin and the head and all that kind of stuff that you've taken off the prawn, you stick it all in a pan with some water and you boil it and you cook it all, and then you sieve that off. Now the liquid that is left is the stock of the prawn, and with that they make the rice, the brothy rice. It gives it a very lovely fishy flavour. Can't do that in this house, obviously. I don't eat meat anymore, but I did used to be a big lover of prawns, but my little one and my partner do not like prawns, not at all. So we definitely won't be doing that here on this channel, but that is how it is done. And then you just, like I said, you add the almejas, kind of like at the end when I'm adding the peas. That's probably about the same time as you would add your shellfish, because they really don't take long to cook. Right, we are bubbling away. I've added just over a litre of stock, but we're going to need a lot more liquid for this. Rice is starting to cook nicely. I use bottled water. Rice isn't done yet. I am going to add the pimienta now. It gives it a bit of a colour as well, so it's not just vegetable broth. It gives it that lovely flavour. Okay, it's now time to add those peas. Just got a handful. Peas are really good. Kids eat them really easily, and they're full of lots of goodness, micronutrients, proteins. A little bit of nutritional yeast. I've only got a little bit left in here, but I'd say about a tablespoon. Got all those things that vegans love. And that's all I had left, but it gives it that little added touch of flavour. You can add a little taste just to make sure how that rice is going. Perfect. It is absolutely perfect, as it is. So with this dish, it is to be eaten served straight away. You can't hold it, you can't wait. So like I said, it's very liquidy. It is to be served like this. So my twist on an arroz caldoso, and that is absolutely delicious. So I'm going to serve this up before I ruin the meal I've just been cooking. If you think that this video has given you any value, please give me a like or leave a comment below if there's anything that you wish to know. I'll have the full recipe underneath and also on the website. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram also. And I'll be back soon with more interesting Spanish cuisine that is very, very cheap and easy to make, especially in lockdown. Basic ingredients, but are absolutely delicious and easily adapted to any kind of diet, be that hyperglycemia, vegan, whole food, plant-based, if you're trying to look after your any kind of autoimmune diseases like psoriasis. So yeah, just stay tuned for us because there's more to come.